You are drowning, not metaphorically. The water is real, the weight on your back is real, and the instructor standing above you hasn't blinked in 4 minutes. You have 2 choices. Quit and walk away with your life intact, or stay and find out what happens to the ones who don't leave. Most people choose to leave. Level 1. The Indoctrinated. It begins before sunrise. The Air Force calls it the Pararescue Indoctrination course, but nobody here calls it that. They call it Indoc. And Indoc is designed to answer one question, not whether you're strong, but whether you're breakable. You signed the paperwork 3 months ago in a recruiter's office that smelled like carpet cleaner and false confidence. You ran your miles. You did your pull-ups. You thought you were ready. You weren't ready. No one is ever ready. The first morning, you enter a pool at 0430. The water is cold enough to make your chest seize. The instructors are already there, already watching, already taking notes on a clipboard that might as well be a death warrant. They will make you tread water with your hands behind your back. They will hold your head under. They will push you until the part of your brain responsible for rational thought shuts off and only instinct remains. And then they will watch to see what your instinct does. If you panic, you're done. If you fight the water instead of moving through it, you're done. If you look at the exit and consider it for even half a second, they already know. They've been watching that exit longer than you have. What you don't know yet is that this pool is the kindest place you'll be for the next 2 years. Everything after this is harder. Level 2. The Pipeline. You survived Indoc. That alone puts you in a category most people never reach. But surviving Indoc doesn't make you a pararescueman. It makes you eligible to try. The Pipeline is the longest special operations training program in the United States military. 24 months, minimum, 7 different schools. You will become a certified combat diver, a military freefall parachutist, a tactical field medic, and a mountain survival specialist, not one at a time, but layered on top of each other, like sediment. You will arrive at each school carrying the exhaustion of the last. At Army Airborne School in Fort Benning, you jump out of a perfectly functioning aircraft at 1,250 feet and realize your hands are completely steady. That surprises you. Then you land wrong, roll wrong, and something in your left ankle sends a signal to your brain that suggests you may have made a catastrophic career decision. You ice it, you tape it, you say nothing, because the pipeline doesn't pause. Not for your ankle, not for weather, not for the version of you that existed before any of this started. At Combat Dive School in Panama City, the Gulf of Mexico becomes your office. You conduct underwater navigation in zero visibility with a compass, a depth gauge, and a partner whose breathing you can feel through the water but cannot see. You will learn that darkness underwater is different from darkness anywhere else. It has weight, it has pressure. It presses in on your ears, your sinuses, the back of your eyes. You navigate anyway. You always navigate anyway. What no one in the pipeline tells you is that the training is also building something else, something quieter, something that won't reveal itself until a specific moment, years from now, in a situation nobody in this school has described to you yet. Level 3. The Newly Qualified. You graduate the pipeline. You receive your maroon beret. You receive your flash the blue and gold shield. That means something so specific in the special operations community that most people in the military will never fully understand it. These things we do, that others may live. That is the motto. It isn't poetry. It is a contract. Your first unit assignment is a combat search and rescue squadron. You are a PJ, now a pararescueman, but you are the newest one, and your team sergeant has more combat deployments than you have, years of military service. You feel the gap. You feel it. Every time a senior operator runs a scenario and makes a decision in 2 seconds that would have taken you 20, you ask questions. You stay late. You build muscle memory in every procedure, because muscle memory is the only thing that works when the adrenaline dissolves your cognition. Your first deployment is to a forward operating base in a country whose name you won't repeat in casual conversation for years afterward. The base is small, the threat level is moderate, and nothing happens for 11 days. On day 12, the radio changes. A helicopter crew has gone down 40 kilometers north. 2 survivors. 1 with a femoral bleed. The bird is warming up before you've finished suiting. You are in the air before fear has time to organize itself into an opinion. What you will find on that hillside will answer a question you didn't know you'd been carrying since the pool at 0430 on the first morning years ago. Level 4. The Team Leader. You are a staff sergeant now. You have 2 deployments behind you and a reputation that travels slightly ahead of you, which is the best kind of reputation to have in this community. You lead a team of 4, 2 junior PJs, and 1 man who has been doing this longer than you and who will follow your lead with absolute professionalism while you both know he could do your job in his sleep. That dynamic, leading someone who is your functional equal in a structure that demands hierarchy, teaches you something no school ever covered. It teaches you to lead by earning, not by rank. Your team moves differently than it did 3 years ago. You move differently. On a night insert into a contested area of operations, your team rappels from a hovering aircraft at 70 feet into a river valley that smells like smoke and wet clay. A coalition soldier has taken shrapnel to the chest and abdomen. His unit has held the site for 6 hours. By the time you reach him, his pressure is dropping, and his breathing has the sound that tells you everything. You work by headlamp and feel. Your hands know the procedures now. They do not wait for your conscious mind to direct them. Afterward, when the medevac bird lifts and the sound of rotor wash fades and the valley goes quiet again, one of your junior PJs looks at you and says nothing. He doesn't have to. But leading isn't just the hillside. It's the debrief at 0300. It's writing up a younger PJ's mistake in language that preserves his career while making sure he never makes the same mistake again. It's sitting across from a man who is struggling and knowing exactly what he's struggling with because you struggled with it too, and deciding how much of that you're willing to say out loud. Level 5, the veteran, technical sergeant. 8 years in, your body has a library now. Your left knee logs, weather changes. Your lower back remembers every combat load above 80 pounds. You have jump logs and dive logs and a mental file of every patient you have ever touched, who made it, who didn't, and the specific details of each. You don't talk about that file. You carry it. A therapist once told you to process. You said you would. You filed it under pending. At your level, the missions are no longer the hardest part. You have made peace with the missions. What is harder is watching younger men come through who remind you of yourself at level 1, standing in that cold pool, absolutely certain they understood what they were signing up for. You know they don't. You also know that's exactly right. If they truly understood, they wouldn't sign. And the world needs people who sign before they fully understand. You have become someone who shapes what they will understand eventually. That is a different kind of weight than a rucksack. It distributes differently. You feel it in different places. Level 6. The Superintendent, Master Sergeant, the rank where the Air Force trusts you to run the technical and operational side of an entire pararescue flight. You no longer deploy on every mission. Some of that is policy. Some of it is that the service has decided your value is now greatest at the organizational level. Mentoring, training, standards, institutional knowledge. You resist this at first. The action is where you feel most alive. The debrief room is fluorescent lighting and PowerPoint. But you begin to see the multiplication. One mission saves one crew. One mentor shapes 20 operators over a decade. 20 operators deployed across theaters, carrying the standards you built in them. The mathematics of legacy are more powerful than the mathematics of presence. You don't fully accept this. You accept enough of it to do the job exceptionally. There are days when a junior PJ calls you from downrange, his voice controlled but his breathing giving him away, and you talk him through a procedure with the same calm you once desperately needed someone to give you. In those moments, you understand why you are here. At this desk, at this rank, instead of on that hillside. The hillside needs the man you were. The desk needs the man you became. Level 7, the Chief. Chief Master Sergeant. Less than 1% of Air Force enlisted personnel ever reach this rank. In pararescue, it means something more specific. It means you have moved through every level of this world and not been consumed by any of them. It means you have buried friends and still shown up. It means you have watched the institution fail and fought to fix it from inside. It means you sat in rooms with generals and advocated for operators who would never know you did it. You wear the beret differently now, not with more pride, with more knowledge of what it cost. The maroon is the same color it was the day you received it, but it doesn't look the same to you. It looks like every face you remember, every radio call, every hillside, in every country, at every altitude. The motto is still, these things we do, that others may live. It still isn't poetry, but you have lived long enough inside it to know that some contracts don't expire. Some contracts become identity. You did not choose to be this person. You chose to walk into a pool at 0430 and not walk out. The person you are now was built by everything that came after that decision. And if you are honest, if you stand in the quiet at the end of a career that broke most people who attempted it and look back at the full length of it, you do not see sacrifice. You see the only version of your life that made sense. You see the hillside, and you understand finally why you went back every time.